Very kind friend. I think that's great.
I'm live. I'm live and I'm alive. Okay, y'all. So, peace, everybody. I haven't been on here in so long, but I just got off of an interview podcast with Healing Angelica. That's my niece Hamida. You hear? I'm on live. That's my niece Hamida that you hear yelling. But I needed to hop on here because I haven't gone live in a long time. But I said, let me do that. And I actually should go live on probably Facebook too, simultaneously. But I just wanted to talk about why I was not on social media for 3 months. Okay. That's a long time for a social media world. So something just told me to just detach, um, unplug, get off the grid for a few days, right? But days turned into weeks, weeks turned into months. And I decided, you know what, this is good. And I just didn't feel like getting back on. But the things that I have learned from being off social media is one, social media is definitely an addiction. It's something that you just consistently go to, even like subconsciously. But also, when you have the social media apps on your phone, it's almost like a knee jerk reaction. You just, even if you didn't even mean to, you just go press it on your phone. Like if you have Instagram, you could be in the middle of doing something, you just end up pressing the little square because it's just a habit. And so, me being off of social media for so long, it felt really good to not have that habit anymore of going on there. And the biggest takeaway of me not being on social media was being able to be in the present. So I was able to enjoy the present moments, and I was able to hear things that God was trying to tell me or speak to me about. One of the things that He told me while I was in this social media fast, if you want to call it, was when you get back on social media, come back with a guitar. So instead of just doing freestyles, with just yourself or just dancing in the background and everything, learn how to play the guitar and learn. You see that's my husband back there. Learn how to play the guitar. Learn how to um, rap with the guitar. And so I decided, okay, well, that's something that I'll do. And I'm glad that I did that because it opened up a whole nother part of the mind, because I didn't realize that when you play the guitar and try to look at him, when you play the guitar and you try to sing or rap at the same time, it's mind blowing. It's something that I thought would have been easier than it, because it looks easy, but no, they make it look easy. Okay. So I learned that. But also, I think the biggest, like I said, takeaway is of being present. And so when you're present, you're able to take in moments. You're able to really breathe and be in a space of what is it? Like a present state of mind where you can talk to your friends, you could talk to your spouse, you can like pay attention to your child or your children. And so it really did elevate me in a lot of ways. And I think it's time for us as a people to start taking silence seriously and show the value, or learn the value, or appreciate the value of silence, appreciate the value of unplugging from things, appreciate the value of being in the present, appreciate the value of family, appreciate the value of your children, your spouse, because once you start to appreciate these things, it's not a hard thing to manage when it comes to turning stuff off. You actually want to turn things off. You actually don't want to be attached to your phone. You don't want to be in the matrix, like you say. One of the other things that helped me during this time of not being on social media was I was able to do a lot. I was always praying, even when I was on social media, but I was also able to really focus on what is my next move. Don't close it because that's my light. Just what's my next move? You know what I mean? And so when I realized that my next move was to learn the guitar and be able to do those type of things, I realized that God is expanding me in a lot of ways. And so what's that expansion, right? So when you have silence and when you are in the present, God gives you messages where he expands you. And scripture talks about, there's a prayer, expand my breast for me, which basically means to make it where I have an expansion for more to come, right? Even if it's an expansion of stewardship, like I want to be able to steward more things. So I got to be more appreciative of what I already have so that I can steward more things. But you want to pray for expansion, and being off of social media helped me with my expansion a lot, because I feel like I was able to understand things, focus on things, take in things a little bit different because I was a little more focused. The power of focus is so important, y'all. It's so important to be focused, because when you are focused, you are being in the vibration that the creator wants us in. Because and this is about to lead me to something really huge. Okay, so when we're focused, we're doing the very thing, and hopefully you're focused on the right thing. But whenever you're focused, you are utilizing the expression of being in the physical. So what do I mean by that? Y'all will not believe. Okay, the queen is back. Thank you. That was in the chat. But y'all would not believe the things that I learned while off social media. I mean, blew my mind. So I learned about the difference between the physical and non-physical. What do I mean by that? So in the Nation of Islam, we're taught that once you're physically dead, you do not come back. Okay. That's it, right? Now, what my understanding of that, my understanding was completely different. I realized that there's so much that I did not know. So in this silence and away from social media, I learned about the different dimensions in the universe. Right. I mean, who knew that getting off of social media, I was going to be learning about different dimensions, channeling, like all of that type of spiritual, like work. I don't even really know what to call it, but I was watching a lot of Tyler Henry. I was watching basically channelers. I was listening to a lot of Bashar. I've always listened to Abraham Hicks, but I didn't realize that she was a channeler because her eyes are open. Bashar, he channels with his eyes closed. And so being a channeler is basically when you channel source. So you can take questions from the audience, and then they just ask you any kind of question that just comes to you, and you're answering the questions, because it's almost like you're an AI, right? Because you're channeling God pretty much, or you're channeling a higher intelligence, because it's not always it's you might not be channeling the originator, but you are channeling a higher intelligence. And so people like Abraham Hicks, she channels a higher intelligence. People like Bashar, he channels a higher intelligence. There's different kind. There's a Black woman named Erin Lyons. She channels a higher intelligence. And so I was listening to those people on my little social media break and everything. And when I say it changed my life, I look at death so different now. Like that probably will be a whole nother video, because it can be a whole nother video. So much. It's so much. Um, but now I have a completely different relationship with death. I'm not afraid to die. Like I'm no longer like what's the word? Because I don't want to say necessarily devastated, but I no longer have the same type of feelings that or emotions that's wrapped around death that I used to. Because I see it for what it is. Um, the physical versus the non-physical, and how we still are evolving energies after we pass away, that type of stuff, while still being and holding on to the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, who's the man that I follow, who I believe to be the messenger of Allah God, and to be able to still understand what he said by, we don't believe that there is anything after you physically pass. It's mind blowing, because he's not saying that there's not other dimensions. He's saying that once you pass from the physical, you're never coming back in the physical again. We don't believe in reincarnation. However, there are different dimensions. And when you pass, you are still alive, just like the Quran says. The Quran says that you think that for it says, think not of those who are slain in Allah's way as being dead. Nay, they are alive, still being provided sustenance from their Lord. So even the Quran, of course, the Quran says that don't think of those, of the righteous as dead because they're still alive. I didn't really understand what that meant, but I thought that meant the simple fact that you live through your memory, you live through the works that you left here. But I've also learned that it's deeper than that. So that's probably a whole nother video. But that was huge. Okay. So imagine if I had not gotten off of social media to even have these moments that God felt that I was ready for, because I wasn't distracted. Let's go into distractions. Okay. When it comes to distractions, you got to ask yourself, am I taking advantage of being in this physical realm by focusing on something? If you are a chef, can you be a good chef without focusing on how you're cooking or what you're cooking or the technique or leaving it in the oven at a certain time? Like, you have to be focused on anything that you do, okay? Whether it's cooking, cleaning, doing an art project, school, getting a degree, business, whatever. In order to be successful, you have to be focused. And this world is so hell-bent on making sure that we're distracted, because if you are distracted, then you are being taken off the course that God is wanting you to be on. And we're not doing that in 2025. 2025 is the year of discipline. 2025 is the year of focus. And so if you have to go on a social media fast, do what you got to do. I'm just telling you how it helped me and how it affected me in my life. I'm back on social media, but kind of not really fully the way I should be. Because now it's like, man, I have to figure out a method now to the madness so that I can be consistent on social media, but still feel that present feeling that I felt when I was off social media. I want to be able to do. It says, Assalamu alaikum. Yes, silence is such a beautiful experience. Yes, we have to start appreciating that silence, because again, it's about focus. It's about putting our energy into something, because that's what we're here in the physical to do. When we are born, we decided, you know, with the law's permission, we said we want to come here in the physical so that we can focus on something that is called purpose. Sometimes, you know, sometimes you want to call it, oh, this is your purpose in life, but it's simply when you're focused, because not everybody understands or knows what their purpose in life is. But if you focus on something long enough, then and you are connected to God in some way, it'll lead you to what your purpose is. You focus on something. So there's if I like to watch cooking shows, right? And so there's a cooking show where I think it was it's almost like, I forgot the name of it, but you basically, you try to see if it's fondant or if it's like, oh, it's called Is It Cake? Anyways, there was this Asian lady on there. I think she went to college for neuroscience, but she ended up being a baker. And so, um, but so she focused her attention, she put all her focus on this neuroscience degree, right? But it led her to baking. And now she's doing all this exquisite stuff, right? But it's still, she focused on something, and then it brought her to what she really was passionate about. So it's the same thing. You don't have to know your purpose in life immediately. However, God is going to lead you to that if you just focus on something. So what is Satan's job to do? His job is to distract you from being focused on anything. So social media is all over the place. You got billboards everywhere. God forbid you live in Las Vegas or LA or New York, where there's so many distractions and lights and all this stuff, right? If you go on your TV, you got the thing where you got Hulu, Prime, you got YouTube, you got everything you could imagine on your TV. There's so many different movies coming out. There's so many different music artists coming out. And I'm not saying the movies and the music artists are all distractions, but the point is, now more than ever before, is it difficult to focus? And that is by design. Okay? That is by design. So, what is it that the believers should do? The righteous, what should we do as the righteous people? You know, or those striving to be righteous, right? Because I can't say I'm just perfect or whatever, but we should not shy away from striving to be perfect, because scripture says, be ye perfect even as I am perfect. That's what Jesus said. Look it up. Look it up. I might have to look it up right here so I could just go ahead and tell you where to go and find it. But yeah, so we're constantly striving to be better. We're constantly striving to for perfection. Now, you say you cannot be perfect. Who said you can't be perfect? See, we have to redirect our definition of what perfect is, okay? Because I'm perfectly Aquila. There's nobody else on the planet who can be Aquila Nihanda, right? So I remember the most honorable Elijah Muhammad saying that all of us can do something perfectly. And then somebody said that that means accept your own and be yourself. Because the thing that you can be perfect is you. Nobody else can be you. That's what you can do perfectly. So yes, you are supposed to be perfect. Oh, somebody, they said, oh my God, I was looking at Tyler Henry as well. Abraham, yes. I got to do a whole video on that because I never knew. If y'all don't know who Tyler Henry is, long story short, he talks to those who have passed on the other side. Okay. He talks to people who are no longer in the physical. He doesn't talk to people no longer in the physical. He sends the messages that they're giving to those who are alive. So in other words, those people who they're called mediums. So Tyler Henry is a medium. And for years I would see him on my YouTube and I would be like, look, the messenger said ain't nothing after you die. So whatever he channeling, it ain't right. But again, it's misunderstanding of what the most honorable Elijah Muhammad is teaching us, right? He didn't say that there's not different dimensions. He simply said, once you die physically, you're not coming back. You're not coming back. And that's a fact. So when it comes to, our belief in the resurrection, that's why we say we believe in a mental resurrection, because the one of the differences between us and the Christian faith is that they believe that like you will be physically resurrected on the day of judgment, right? But we believe that you're going to be mentally resurrected. So that's it. You can hear my niece in the background. That's what you hear. You hear my 2-year-old niece. Okay. But anyways, so yes, I've been watching Tyler Henry. I watched his Netflix special. I listened to Abraham Hicks. And it's a whole different world when you start understanding that. And I have an experience after I had an experience that made me realize that we too can be mediums. When I say that we have the ability to have the telepathic abilities, we have that ability. Hamida, we have that. Oh, Sister Atia, we got to talk then, because she said, me too. We got to talk. Because listen, I didn't know. Which shows you that we're all continuously learning. We're all continuously evolving. We're all continuously diving deeper into what we think we believe, what we say we believe. Yes, we do need to talk. I think I have your number, right? I think I got it from Facebook. But we're all evolving. And we think we know our teachings. The thing that we say that we believe, we think we know it until you get into some silence and be able to really hear, listen, study the way we're supposed to be. So if you are a Christian, if you label yourself a Christian, take some time. You might need to get off social media for a little bit. You might need to find somewhere or some schedule to make yourself focus, but take some time. I read the New Testament. While I was on my break from social media, I read the New Testament. I'm on Revelations right now, so I didn't complete it. But once I finish Revelations, I'll be able to say I read the New Testament of the Bible from cover to cover. Look at what you can accomplish when you are not distracted. So anyways, if you call yourself a Christian, then focus your energy and find out what God is telling you that you didn't know before about the faith that you call Christianity, that you say that you believe in. Same with the Muslims. You call yourself Muslim, take some time to not be distracted. See what Allah reveals to you about the very religion that you say you believe. I guarantee you're going to get deeper into the understanding of what you say you believe, whether it's because you read the Quran more or whatever it is. But you're going to have some understandings that God is going to give you that you did not have before. Same with the Jews, same with whoever, like whoever you are. If you say you were a Rastafari, take some time out and see how deep you can get into what it is that you say you believe, because there's always a deeper meaning and concept. And so we think we know. And I think about when the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said this. He said that this is just a wake-up message. All right, this is just a wake-up message. And now I know what he means by this is just a wake-up message. There's so much to learn about God. There's so much to learn about his universe. We are literally scratching the surface. Those of us with the supreme wisdom, those with us who say we have this understanding. This is the surface. I thought I knew these teachings that I have. It's the surface. I thought I knew all of this information. Nope. It's just the surface. And so I'm trying to figure out who's with me, right? Who is going to understand the concept of taking a break, being in silence? You know what I mean? She, yeah, she has a jacket. It should be in the closet. And yeah, that's the main takeaway that I got from, and I learned a lot about myself. Right now, I don't know if you guys are feeling it in the atmosphere, but God is trying to teach us and show us the importance of love and what real love is, what real love looks like. And I'm not talking about necessarily like romantic love. I'm talking about how we have to become more giving. We have to be. She has no socks on. She had on socks. She needs some shoes. The concept of what is real love, what is how should humanity operate? It's in the bedroom. How should humanity operate? And we as a humanity, like we as the human society, I guess I'm trying to say, um, we are not operating in real love or abundance. We're operating in lack. So yeah, that's the message, and it's funny because I was listening to the webcast for NOI.org. Brother Daniel, he was talking about that very concept about how the world has grown cold. You know, a lot of people are cold now, and so that's one of the reoccurring themes that Allah has been sharing with me this particular month of January, which is the month that we are in as of now. We're about to go into February 2025, and yeah, so I don't know if y'all are feeling that energy, but God is trying to show his people that he wants us to truly love the way he loves, you know, by not being cold to other people, but giving without expecting something in return, but those type of things, right? 8302 has one said, I needed to hear this. Brother Michael Muhammad says, silence is gold, and silence has the same letters as listen. Ooh, it sure does. Listen is in that word. I mean, it's missing some of the words, but listen. Oh, wait. If you kind of put it in that, I see what you did there. So, yes, that is one, one of my takeaways from being off of social media. I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to make my return. I thought I made my return, but then I wasn't on there a lot. So it feels so good to be off, y'all. It feels so good to be out of the matrix that I'm struggling on how to get back fully. But yeah, I was able to read. It's just so much. So I do suggest that people take the social media breaks, but this is just my experience. Sister Atia, we need to, I know you do like a show, like a podcast, so tea with Atia, so I need to be on there so we can talk about this concept right here, all right, about the whole dimensions thing, because I'm still learning about it, but it blew my mind. Like, we have nothing to fear. We have nothing to fear. The thing that we need to be doing and focusing on right now is focused attention, cutting distractions, finding what we need to focus on. That's what we need to focus on right now while we're in this physical, because we don't know when we are going to pass away. We just never know. You know what I mean? We never know. Tupac didn't know he was going to pass in his 20s. You know, um, you never know. Sister Tia says, yes, ma'am, I've been on a break too. Inshallah, back soon. I'd love to have you on Tea Time. Yeah, that's what it's called, Tea Time. Y'all need to check out her YouTube channel, Atia J, Atiya J, Tea Time, Ti Time. Oh, yes, it's been looking at Abraham for years. Yes, going back to that. I've been watching Abraham Hicks for years, not realizing that she was channeling. I knew she was doing something, but I didn't know it was called channeling. So it's basically, and we all have that ability. I want to make sure I say that it's immediately. We all have that ability, because what I've realized is the more I focused on those type of healing energies, or energies in general. So when I was watching Tyler Henry back to back to back, I then had an experience as a medium, believe it or not. And as when I was watching the people who channel, like Abraham Hicks and Bashar and Aaron Lyons, I then had an experience where I was praying, and I was, desperately praying, and I asked the question in my prayer, and the answer immediately came, like AI. So I call AI Allah's intelligence when it comes like that. It's Allah's intelligence. That's my AI, okay? Because it came to me immediately. And that's what happens when you're channeling source, or when you're channeling a higher intelligence, right? So we all can do it. We can all channel. We can all be mediums. We just have to make ourselves, again, focused, but also clean up your body, fast, do certain things that lighten up your energy. You know, if you have a heavy energy, and if you're distracted, you're not going to be able to do these things in the way that God wants you to do it, or source wants you to do it. Yes, there's my friend Prince David. He said, pure heart, clean hands. We all have this ability. It's not limited to any one particular person. We all can learn how to channel source energy, right? We're supposed to. If you call yourself a believer, it's actually an obligation to be able to become one with your creator. That's the whole concept of Jesus, and him saying that he's one with the Father. Jesus was an example for us. We don't worship Jesus. We see him as an example. He was an example of what we all can do. Marcus X says, Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. Peace. Dr. Iman is awesome. You should connect with her. I did. I did connect with Dr. Iman. Are you talking about Iman Ali? Because that's who I'm talking about. And she's having a retreat soon. I don't know if it's if it was supposed to be. I think it's public. I think she's let people know, but that's all I'm gonna say for now. But anyways, yes, Dr. Iman Ali. She is she's someone who talks about dimensions and all of these things. But yes, we all have the ability to do these things, and we should all understand that once we do the necessary things to get into that space, we can do things that you never thought you could do. Because I didn't realize that I could do the medium stuff, that I didn't realize that I could channel. But again, we're all supposed to be able to channel source. We're all supposed to do that. I knew that I was connected, but the way that answer came immediately when I asked the question, I didn't I don't remember experiencing that in that way. um Sometimes you get into it, you hear the word intuition, or you something in your head tells you to turn right, instead of turning left. So that is also, source within talking to you. um but I guess sometimes we don't pay attention to it long enough, because again, we're distracted, but we don't pay attention enough to hone in on it, and to say, I want to strengthen that. Prince David says, our DNA is designed to express the Almighty Supreme's image, authority, and likeness, ability in the greatest way. Yes, my brother. It says, Marcus X says, there are channels involved in the mixing and mastering process of music. Right. There are, people who do music and you create music. Oh, Prince, I'm learning how to play the guitar. Okay, so my friend Prince, he knows how to play the harp. He knows how to play the piano. I think he was self-taught. in all of those things. So I'm learning how to play the guitar. I actually have a coach, and I'm gonna play. She's gonna teach me how to play the piano as well. Um, Sister Atia says, "Yeah, that's saying things that you wouldn't really say. You don't have the knowledge of it, but Allah speaking through you or guidance that doesn't make sense, but you're moved to do it." Yes. So one of the ways, basically what she just said, was one of the ways that you know that it's God and that it's that source, that it's the supreme being. The way you know that it's the Most High that's coming through you is when you consciously don't have that knowledge that just came through you. It just came through you. And it doesn't even make sense, the fact that you could produce that. That's how you know that that was coming from the Most High, because it's almost like um that concept of speaking in tongues, right? So what I think speaking in tongues is, I don't think that it's um what this world talks about, or what this world perceives speaking in tongues as being. I believe speaking in tongues is more so being able to, one I'll say it like this. One of the deeper meanings to speaking in tongues to me is when you are able to channel, or when you're able to speak things in a way that it doesn't even make sense that it will be coming from you, because it's coming from a higher source, right? So I don't believe it's like you speaking a language that you can't understand. I think it's something that is deeper than that. I think it means uh when you are, it's, I feel like it has so much more meanings, but I don't think it's the meaning that we've been putting on it. Marcus said, singing is air traveling through your vocal cords, creating your singing voice. Absolutely. So you can channel through singing, you can channel through rapping, you can channel through all kinds of ways, right? Prince says, that's exciting. Get it in. Says, yeah, I seen your reel. It was wonderful, unleashing all your our superpowers. 2025, I'm gonna say it again. 2025 is about discipline. 2025 is about applying the things that we've learned from all the years before this one. Since you were born, this is the year that we are going to apply as much as possible. And we are going to, as believers, learn how to love for real. Like, learn what agape love is, learn what the Most High says love is, the expression of it, giving for giving's sake, being righteous for righteousness' sake. Not just because somebody said you're going to get punished if you don't do XYZ, because that's not genuine love. That's fear. And we don't have any fear when it comes to um the love of God. We know that God loves us, and we have to start acting in the way of someone who's confident that the Most High has us in his mind at all times, because we are to become one with him. I don't want to be babbling. I don't want to just seem like I'm just talking, but I hope y'all understand what I'm trying to say, because this year is really the culmination of a lot of things. And I think that it's going to, a lot of things are going to catapult in a way where it's going to be real good. I started trading, y'all. I started trading years ago during the pandemic. And child, it was not pretty. It was a disaster. Lost all that doggone pandemic money. But God, I decided to start trading again in a different way, a different method. And so far, this is the third day, and I have hit my take profits all 3 days, because I said, I'm not doing the same things I used to do. But I know I still have a way to gain the wealth that the Most High has stored up for me. So it's a matter of finding your greatness and finding your methods that will be successful. Because when you start really knowing who you are, you know the things that make you tick, you know the things that make you successful, you make the things that make you unsuccessful. Prince David said, wealth of the wicked laid up for the just. That's scripture. And I believe it, because it's time. It's so time that It's not even funny. And so for me, I know that I've had enough of being mediocre. I've had enough of not being disciplined the way that I know I'm supposed to be disciplined. And you, again, you got to know who you are. I was listening to something. It was a brother, I forgot his name, but he was on Megan Ashley's podcast, and he said that that story of being lukewarm, a lot of people don't really stand it the way it's supposed to be. But basically, it's like scripture's basically saying you can be hot or cold but not lukewarm, right? It's because the hot signifies those who are kind of have a heavy ministry, right? They're kind of like, when they walk into a room, they're kind of deep, right? They're kind of like the believers that are maybe militant, maybe don't smile a whole lot, might take things like real serious. And then you have the cold is like that lighthearted, angelic, believer who's just, all hugs and, like roses and all that stuff. They're both believers, but there's a different type of vibe to them, right? I'm more on, believe it or not, even though I'm an artist and woo, I'm actually more on the hot side. I'm more of a heavy thinker, a deep thinker. I'm more serious about a lot of things. My husband is that other side. He's more like the fun, free DJ, right? So it's what was the point of my bringing that up? I don't know. Figure out which one you are. Figure out which one you are and be okay with it, right? Because you're still going to be used for the kingdom. Okay. What else? The Tia says, pray for your continued abundance and knowledge. Oh, thank you. I sound like Prince said, Prince said, I day trade too. Cashed out my settled funds the other day. Yes. I use Robinhood for the most part to buy and sell options, calls, and Webull to read the charts. Yes. We need to talk about that because I'm doing it I'm doing it with an app. That was my way. Oh, you said don't be lukewarm. Thank you. So, Sister Tia, that was the point of my story. So don't be in the middle, right? Lukewarm. But what was my point of saying don't be lukewarm? I think it was about knowing who you are. Like, know that it's okay to be either or. But being lukewarm is you're here nor there. You really don't know who you are. But this year, we need to like understand the type of person that we are and be okay with it so that we can guard our focus and channel our focus, and not looking here and there like, oh, I wish I was more like this or I wish I was more like that. A lot of times those really, the cold believers that are just so happy and yay, sometimes they wish they were a little bit more deep or profound in their ways of expression, right? And sometimes those who are a little more deep and profound in their expression wish that they were a little more lighthearted at times, But this ain't that no more. Accept who you are, be okay with it. It's all right, and keep it moving. That's what I was basically trying to say. Accept who you are so that you can have that focus, and God is going to lead you to where you need to be. And whatever it is that you desire, just stay focused and he'll lead you to that. I remember I again, like I said, I'm leaning more to that deep thinker person. And I just remember I used to never cry when I would watch certain movies that were sad. And I would be looking at other people like, man, I want to cry at these movies and stuff. So I actually said a prayer and I was like, oh Lord, please help me to be more emotional with my like I want to be able to feel. I want to be able to be more empathetic in a emotional way because I'm empathetic. I was always empathetic in a way that was like, oh, I'm gonna do something about it, right? Which is kind of masculine in that form, right? It's like the doing of it all. And so I was like, oh, I want to be like, I want to feel like the emotions of it rather than just going after it in a way of I'm a just solution. When I tell you I made that prayer, this was probably one of the prayers that I could feel immediately were answered. I cry every movie. You can't play a movie that has a touching part on it. I'm gonna be crying every time. Every time. Like my husband be looking at me like, this is a commercial. Okay, it ain't that bad, but you get it. Okay, what's some of these comments? It says Marcus said, network, come with me and I will make you a fisher of men. That was Jesus that said that. Yes. Yes, ma'am. I'm talking about Dr. Aman Ali. Yep. Michael says, time to take a definitive stance. Absolutely. Beautiful point. I needed that. Praise be to Allah. We are the original X-Men women. Absolutely. The original man is the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe. Our teachings are so deep in that, right? Like I told myself, for like Prince and Marcus. Wait, was it Marcus that said? No, I think it was just Prince that said he's trading. I thought Marcus said he was trading too, but I don't think so. My new thing is to get up for 3 a.m. Between 3 a.m. or 5 a.m. to put a trade in and then start my day. 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. Mind you, I've been wanting to wake up. Prince knows this. I've been wanting to wake up early for years. 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 And I would be on and off, on and off. And I'm just like, oh man, I'm supposed to be up before the sun rises. I'm supposed to be the believer that does that. And I'm supposed to be praying. And God, why can't I keep that up? I'm just so tired. I want to sleep, right? But it's something about money. That's why people don't be late for work, because they're trying to get that money. But it's unfortunate. But what I told myself is I said, okay, my trades in my app comes in between midnight and 5 a.m. every day, not the weekends, because it's not open on the weekends. I said, I'm going to get up at 3 a.m. That's like the average. So I'm going to get up at 3 a.m. Or between 3 and 5. That was like a motivation to get up, do that trading. By then, once I'm done with that, I can study the teachings. I can say my Fajr prayer, which is the first prayer of the day, the dawn prayer. And then I could get my day rolling. It's okay if there's something that motivates you to get to where you need to be. If you know yourself, and if you know that for 33 years, well, I won't say 33 because when you like under the age of 10, you ain't thinking about prayer like that, in that way, like getting up for dawn. So let's say 23 years of not being able, no, I'll say till 16. So let's say like 17 years of not being able to get up consistently for like 5 a.m. or whatever, just to pray. Accept the fact that you might need a different type of motivation to get up. So now my motivation is to do this day trading. Get up, do that, boom. Then I get straight into my studying, my word, my prayer, and all of those things. So it's okay. It's okay if you follow, like if you listen to Abraham Hicks and it says, follow the path of least resistance. So if this is the path that's going to get me to where I'm striving to get on a consistent basis, waking up before the sun and all of that, then that's what it's going to be. And I'm grateful for it. Michael Muhammad says, Revelation 3:15 through 16. I know your works, that you are neither cold nor hot. I could wish you were cold or hot. By Tia says, Brother Marcus. Well, Prince David says, Wisdom of Solomon 1:3. Forward thoughts separate us from the Most High. Wait, four? It says forward thoughts? Forward thoughts separate us from the Most High, and his power, when it is tried, reproves the unwise. Oh, froward means disobedient. Oh, okay. I thought that was a typo. Froward. How do you pronounce that? Froward?
Yeah. F-R-O.
Yeah, froward. Okay. For froward thoughts separate us from the Most High, and his power, when it is tried, reproves the unwise. Froward means disobedient. I learn something new every day. Michael Muhammad says, when obstacles show up, make adjustments, not excuses. Exactly. And that's what I've been doing, y'all. I've been making adjustments because, again, this is the year of discipline. This is the year that the righteous will prevail in so many ways, first within, and then we take that within shine and we shine it to the rest of the world. We take what we're learning and then we're going to catapult and elevate, because the Most High is going to elevate us because we are the light of the world. So in this darkness, I have to understand it has to get intensely dark first, so that the light that is shining within the believers can be seen amongst the world. And I believe that social media was created with the righteous in mind, because the Most High wants to put us on the stage for the entire world to see. Right now we're seeing the ups and downs of like seeing all the crazy stuff as well, but ultimately it's so that the righteous can shine and be seen the world over. The light. Speaking of the light, I want y'all to there's a group called Infinity Song. It's a group. Look, I told you he's the lighthearted one. The group Infinity Song, they play instruments and they sing, and they're kind of like a soft rock, but they're black, and they're really really good. They're really really positive, and I want y'all to check them out because that's the direction that music is going to be going, whether it's soft rock, whether it's hip hop, R&B, but we're getting to a point where we are going to be shining our light and being ourselves. They wear their hair natural. They, don't do too much makeup and all that stuff. That's another thing. While I was in this break, God told me to stop wearing makeup. And that was a big thing. I only wear mascara, and you can barely really see it. It's just like from my eyelashes. But I no longer wear the face foundation because God told me to allow the world to see that it's not needed for his women to wear it per se. So I don't do it now anymore. If I do any type of makeup, it might be like maybe the corner of my eyes or something. Yes, Prince, natural women are the best. Atia said, beautiful sis, praise be to Allah. Oh, so Prince, he says, I day trade the first hour of the market opening 9:30, 10:30 a.m. in and out. Yeah, so my app, because again, you got to figure out what works for you. For me, following the trades on this app, they give you one trade a day, and and I have a chart that shows me if you start your account with $20, it's the compounding chart. It says only lose risk 30%, which is only basically what you made the day before. And it's been working. It's my third day, and I've gotten a profit every day, all the 3 of those days. And I know that if I set my stop loss for 30%, I'll only lose what I did the day before, which means I'll get to my goal way faster than if I was trying to do this on my own like I used to and lost all my money. I'm working smarter, not harder, because I know what works for me. You got to know who you are. How will you know who you are if you are distracted? Okay. We have to focus so God can show us who we are. And Princess never seen a more prettier, beautiful woman than a soul sister that looks like the daughter of Zion when she wake up. I love the way Prince talks. Prince says, yes, that's awesome. Overflow is now. So you are doing, I'm doing, I don't know what, when I say I'm really working smarter and not harder, I mean, I don't even know what I'm doing. Let's see. I'm just following the trade. It says, so I'm doing those that are like Euro USD, those like AUD, like what are those called? You know what I'm talking about? I don't think it's futures, because it's I'm doing stuff like USD CAD, GBP. Yeah, that's Forex. Michael Muhammad says, we are Allah's social media to the world. He's not after likes, he's after lives. That was a bar. I like that. Bonafide 1970 says, warm greetings to you, Queen. Thank you for all of beautiful, righteous music that you make. Many blessings to you and your family. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you. Walaikum salam. Prince says, yeah, that's for it. Yeah, a lot of money to be made in that easily and effortless. Easily, effortlessly. When I tell you, so when they say knowledge is power, I'm realizing that we had that as a cliche when we were in school, right? Knowledge is power, knowledge is power. And I'm like, and I remember Minister Farrakhan saying, what knowledge? Like, certain knowledge is power, but it's it's like, now I'm realizing that knowledge truly is power, but not in the way that we grew up thinking about it in that cliche, get a degree, knowledge is power. That's not the knowledge that's powerful. You going to college and getting degrees. I got a degree in film production. Prince was that's where I met Prince David. He was at Howard as well. I got the degree, but that's not where the power came from. The power is in knowledge of self and knowledge of the Most High. That's where the true power comes from. Because what I realized is that, like what I realized about the physical versus non-physical, the different dimensions, that gave me true power because it took away the fear of dying. It took away any despair about when people pass away. It took away a lot of fear-based beliefs. And so that knowledge was power in my life. Knowing myself, knowing what makes me tick, knowing what makes me successful and unsuccessful, knowing my habits and whatnot, knowing that is powerful because now I move differently, right? So that's where the power is. It's not in the degrees. Like I thought that, back when we were in elementary school, when they said knowledge of its power, I thought they were saying when you read a book, you get knowledge and that's powerful. And it's like, yeah, but it's like, what books are you reading? And then are you applying that knowledge? It's powerful once you apply the knowledge, right? The application is the power. Marcus said, where would I find your booking info? Go to my website, and I need to check them. Just if you want to book me, akila.nihanda@gmail.com. Let me put that in the chat. I forgot I can put stuff in the chat too. That's crazy how I forgot that. akila.nihanda@gmail.com is where you can book me, okay? So the right knowledge is what's powerful. I'm really excited. This year, I need to be doing more lives. Prince says, I heard about Bitcoin when we were at Howard. Imagine if we would have invested in Bitcoin then. In 2009, it was 0.00099, less than a penny. Oh my God. I didn't believe it. I think I heard about Bitcoin too around that time. I didn't believe in that stuff. Current price of Bitcoin now is 103,000. I remember when that started coming out. And I was like, I don't trust it. It ain't gonna last. It's this, it's that. Again, knowledge is power. Because I did not know what they knew. But now I know. And would have been nice. Would have been nice. Says, imagine if you would have put $5 on it in 2009, just $5, you would be a billionaire. Wow. We didn't know. Knowledge is power. And see, that's how the enemy can get those who are against the Most High, those who know. That's what we have, the 10%, the 5%, and the 85%. You got the 10% of the population who know these things and they use it to enslave the minds and to keep people in this cycle of distraction and debauchery and all this type of stuff. And then you have the 5% who know and are utilizing that information to do righteous things, and then you have the 85% who don't know what's going on when it comes, and they're just being distracted in general and being used as puppets. You see more TV. Peace, what's going on with you? Are you live or using filters? I'm not using any filters. So that's a compliment. Wait, unless this gives me a filter that I don't know about. But I'm not using any filters. I have like one of those little lights that's shining on me. So yeah, I don't have no filter on me. Just no makeup. Like the good Lord told me to do. All right. I think I said everything I wanted to say. Hold me accountable for doing more lives. I got to do more of that for sure. Oh, I got to go. I got to go pick up Neilani from school, and I'm late. Peace. Yeah.